This week we have updates when it comes to some of the big airliner developments, and we take a look at what features Microsoft have planned or still being developed for the sim. And of course we've got all of this week's announcements and release news, so let's not waste any more time on the intro and jump into the video. Kicking off this week's previews and announcements, this week Airsoft released some more teaser shots of its in-development Airbus A330. The team is currently tweaking the ground handling and applying finishing touches to the Airbus A330. Over on their forums this week, the team mentioned that the 330 will be released with a GSX profile, and apart from the teaser shots of the interactive checklist and some exterior shots of the aircraft, the team is still keeping a release date very tight-lipped. However, they did mention that we would see or have a 2-week notice leading up to the release of the 330. Bluebird Simulations, the team out behind the development of the Boeing 757, have been working on optimization of the aircraft in recent times. Bluebird Simulations mentions the virtual cockpit has over 1,200 animations, which include switches, dials, knobs, and buttons. Not all of them are functional at this stage, but the team mentions that will be changed over time. When released, we will have the opportunity to choose between 2K and 4K textures. The team did mention that they will soon be starting the implementation of the custom sound set of the Boeing 757, but for now we have some teaser shots of the virtual cockpit. Blackbird Simulations, formerly known as Milviz, a little while ago announced they would be bringing a brand new product range to its brand called Strike. This was announced back in February this year. They mentioned that products will feature a lower spec aircraft and simplified 3D models and textures and basic systems, which the product will then run smoothly on their Xbox console. This week the team showcased a preview over at Twitch for the two of the Strike products that we first will see. One is the 530F helicopter and the other one is the PA-30 Twinkle. The video footage you see here is from their test stream over at Twitch, and at the time of recording there was no feature list or ETA of when we'll see a Blackbird releasing these two products. Moving on to our next update, and we've seen many interesting launches of products this year for the flight sim community with early access releases, and this time around the team over at Mini Cockpit with a Kickstarter for their Mini FCU product. The Mini FCU is a flight control unit that mimics a Airbus FCU with precise control and realistic tactile feedback and a custom-made LCD panel, which only needs a single USB cable and an AC adapter to work with your flight simulator. The product has been in development by two Airbus captains who mentioned they have dedicated much development time in reconstructing the FCU in great detail. The Kickstarter launched only a few days ago, and the team have already received over 2,500 orders/backers, and by the time you watch this video it's probably a lot more than that. The Kickstarter is planned to continue on till the end of June unless sold out. The team over at Mini Cockpit mentions they will have enough units for the first 5,000 to be shipped in November. Being this is a Kickstarter, we have no promises from the team on the final product at this stage, crossing our fingers that the Mini FCU lives up to the hype. The team is not stopping there when it comes to the Mini FCU. They have an entire roadmap plan with expansions to a Mini EFS and an ECAM and more. I'll leave a link in the description if you'd like to check out the Kickstarter from Mini FCU over at the team at Mini Cockpits. Moving over to this week's release news, and Dominic Designs team this week released Philadelphia International Airport. This is the third-party developer to recreate this airport, others being MK Studios and Flight Sim Studios. The airport itself is located 7 miles from the city downtown, and it serves over 9 million passengers a year. 22 airliners have scheduled flights out of here with an average of 500 flights a day. UPS and Frontier Airlines find Philadelphia their home, and the airport serves other countries such as Canada, the Caribbean, Latin America, Europe, and the Middle East. Features include PBR textures, dynamic lighting, real ground markings, handcrafted pavements, custom jetways, custom animation objects including passengers and the airport train, and you can pick up your copy of Dominic Designs Philadelphia International Airport from the Sim Market store. I'll leave a link in the description below. Before we jump into this week's video, I want to thank SoFly for sponsoring this video. SoFly offer a number of products for Microsoft Flight Simulator, catering to new pilots for the sim and all the way to very experienced pilots. As a flight sim content creator, my favorite SoFly product is Weather Presets Pro, which comes in really handy when the weather is not behaving itself and you can change the weather to be more dramatic or even to a perfect day. Other products I like to use is Landing Challenge Pro, Flight Simulator Guide, which is the manual to Microsoft Flight Simulator, the one that should have been, Storms for pilots who want to chase some of the biggest storms in the world's history. I will leave a link in the description below or where you can go and check out SoFly products, and I would like to thank SoFly for sponsoring this video. In another airport release this week, Taxi to Gate has released Orlando International Airport. Orlando serves as the primary gateway international airport for Florida and serves about 850 flights daily with 135 international and domestic destinations. Major airliners you would find here is United Airlines, JetBlue, Southwest Airlines and Spirit Airlines. Features include custom ground textures, custom photo scenery, custom mesh, full detail buildings, realistic ground markings, dynamic lighting, PBR textures and a numerous amount of static objects. At the moment there is some bugs with the airport when it comes to the terraforming. Taxi to Gate did mention turning off the photographic scenery to fix this. You may want to wait for a quick update from the team before purchasing this one, but you can pick up your copy of Taxi to Gate Orlando Airport directly from the Sim Market store. I'll leave a link in the description below. Kicking off this week's Sim update news, Microsoft will release another aircraft avionics beta update. This current build is now 1.33.6.0. This build is mainly bug fixes for the G3000, the G5000 and the G1000 NXI, and also the GNS 430 and the 530 have some small updates as well. That being said, the bulk of the update was for the 787 and the 747, both receiving additional functionality when it comes to checklists, systems and autopilot, following by a bug and performance improvement, which was quite a long list for these two aircraft. The Cessna Citation and the Longitude had some minor improvements as well. The Aircraft Avionics Update 2 is scheduled to go live on the 23rd of June. Funny enough, this is the same day where the Flight Sim Expo is on. We do know that Microsoft have an announcement regarding some updates and content during the Expo, so it might be just a coincidence of these dates. We will soon find out. Currently, we haven't seen an update to the development roadmap or a feedback snapshot for some time now. Last time we heard the Scenery Gateway is ready to go, and we should see that release when it comes to World Update 14. Other features and additionals that we've seen marked as planned is Share Cockpit and Multiplayer that is planned to be released in the sim. Power lines, antennas, masks and cable cars is planned to be released in the sim. The Northern Lights is planned to be released in the sim, and Particles is still being worked on. When it comes to seasons, the team have started this, but we haven't heard anything since then, but there is no word when we're going to see a release. But they do have a surprise left for November, and I'm wondering if it's going to be seasons. We will cross our fingers for this one. As far as we know, these features are the only ones that have been published to say that they're in plan, started or working on. We haven't heard anything else from the team at this stage. This week we received a new backlog update. This week we've seen a reduction of 101 products since last week. Aircraft are down by 3, airports are down by 30, the scenery is down by 38 and missions are down by 11. The backlog list may not appear as high as it seems, as Microsoft team it seems to count one product as 2 when it's getting released on Xbox and PC rather than one product. That being said, this week on the marketplace we've seen a total of 125 products released. 63 of these available for PC and 62 of these available for Xbox. This week's aircraft releases, we've seen a 170B from Dream Scenery, the Bell 222 from Cohen Simulations, and also the Mirage 4000 from MS Sceneries. As always, please do your homework when it comes to purchasing. Cheap doesn't always mean the best. Other product releases of the in-store marketplace this week are made up of 8 livery packs, 10 mission packs, 15 night lighting packs, and 24 airports. There's a bunch of bundle packs, and most of these are bundles for liveries. So not much substance when it comes to this week's updates, particularly if you're looking for aircraft. Obviously, we didn't get a backup on last week when it comes to big airliners, but you never know, we may see some new aircraft releasing on the marketplace store next week. We look forward to bringing you more flight sim content soon on the channel. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already done so, and if you enjoyed the video, smash that like button and stick around for another video, and thank you very much for your support.